Hey guys, welcome back to another watch list journey video. I've been off for a week because for some reason I only watched one or two films in a week a couple of weeks ago, so it wasn't worth doing a video. So I've caught up now and I've probably watched about 8 films in the last couple of weeks, so I'm ready to discuss them. I have loosely kept to my algorithm, although I've watched 3 Japanese movies for some reason. So I'm not quite sure how that's worked, but I've got a film from China, 3 from Japan, Korea, a Rewatch, a film from 2019 and a film from 2020, and last but not least, a French film. I haven't seen a Wuxia film in 2 weeks, so apologies, but that will be coming next week. So let's get to it. Let's see what I've been up to the last couple of weeks. So the first film up for discussion is a film from China, well, more specifically Hong Kong, from 1991, a film called My Prince Edward, which was directed by Norris Wong. I believe it's his directorial debut, and I watched it on physical media. I mean, not just any physical media, a very, very beautiful premium deluxe edition, which I'll quickly show you. Comes out with it's very minimalistic, but extremely high quality. Can't get out the box. And I don't know if you can notice it's got this nice kind of silhouette. It's really hard to see actually, just about made that out. Have a look at my Instagram account if you're interested. I'm doing a top 25 premium Blu-rays at the moment. This is included therein. So you get a lovely photo book. I don't think any of it is in English. No. You also get the OST, the original soundtrack, in a little envelope, and the disc itself. So not a lot of goodies, but the quality of the paper, the quality of the artwork is gorge. So yeah, My Prince Edward. A slight movie in some ways, a kind of melodrama about the wedding industry in Hong Kong, but fascinating, a real fascinating insight into the mechanics of the wedding industry and the way that people are kind of under pressure to get married by a certain age to a certain sort of person, and the pressure from parents, the pressure from peers. And I think the film depicts a young woman who, you know, does not want to get married really, but she feels forced into it. And the relationship between her partner and the mother-in-law is really not great and quite uncomfortable to watch, to be honest. The lead performance by Steffi Yang is wonderful. Not an actress I'm aware of, but she smashed it, I thought. And what's also really lovely about this film is that, as in a lot of East Asian films, the photography, I believe, digitally shot, which I always love, and the neon nightscapes are beautiful. I mean, obviously, you know, shooting in Hong Kong is going to be gorgeous. And you know, it's a film that I learned a lot actually about the way that, you know, marriage works in Hong Kong. Now, I'm not going to, it doesn't come across particularly judgmental in the film, and I'm not going to judge, but it gives you an insight, and I'd love to obviously, you know, to explore that more, because it was a really fascinating subject. Almost felt like in some ways a kind of a documentary about it, but there was enough drama to keep me engaged and interested. And I don't think this film would be for everyone. It is overlooked. I don't hear it being talked about a lot. Hers from A Touch of Film recommended it on his channel. That's how I got to hear about it. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. So my first Japanese film is to follow up to the really most amazing Your Name by Makoto Shinkai. That's the box set that I had, all the anime box set, which I'm a very proud owner of. A beautiful edition, which befits a beautiful film. One of my animated films with one of the best endings ever, I think. And this is Weathering with You from 2019, and this is the same kind of box set. This time it's got a steelbook as opposed to digibook, a really nice steelbook, 4K, so it looks amazing. A beautiful book in English with photos and stuff, gorgeous book, poster and art cards. So another lovely addition from all the anime. Pity I can't say the same about the film, I'm afraid. I wasn't really a fan, which shocked and surprised me. The film looks incredible, whether it's in 4K or HD. It looks amazing. The animation is just as good as Your Name, probably better. Beautiful depth of field, beautiful focus, beautiful colours, blah, blah, blah. Just looks amazing. But the film just didn't do it for me. The plot felt convoluted. I didn't care about the film, didn't care about the characters, didn't care that the big punchy ending didn't do it for me. I was quite crushed actually, because I kind of thought this would be a film that I would love. Not as much as Your Name, of course, but almost as much as it. So yeah, really disappointed with this film. Just wasn't for me. Yeah, so whether I keep it or not, I'm not sure, because it's nice to look at, and but a real shame. But you know, it's maybe on Rewatch I'll rediscover it. I might like it. Be interested to hear what you guys think about it, because I know it has got mixed reviews, and some people don't like it and some people do. But it seems quite highly rated, Rotten Tomatoes and whatever. So yeah, that's Weathering with You. Okay, so Korea. And yeah, I mean, you know, when you watch a Korean film, you know you're going to get back on track after watching a film I didn't like. I watched a Korean classic actually I got the edition of a film called The Last Witness from 1980. So the Korean Film Archive edition, which by the way is a fantastic edition. You've got a booklet that's in English. You've got an audio commentary that's in English, or subtitles, obviously. I think the special features also have English subtitles. So that's really unusual for a Korean release. And I believe that the Korean Film Archive Blu-ray collection does that for all of its releases. So I'm going to be checking out some more of those. So yeah, so this is a very famous Korean film, obviously a very classic Korean film, hence the Korean Film Archive release. And it's from a very famous book. And yeah, it was, I mean, it's a very, very long film. I think it was about 2.5 hours long. And the story is sprawling and epic, and a lot is going on in this film. You've got, I mean, you starts off with like a normal kind of cop hunting a killer murder mystery. Then you go into the Korean War for a short time. Then you're just traveling around the Korean countryside. There's some very interesting action sequences in this film. There's some very disturbing abusive scenes in this film. There's some very combination of very good acting and maybe not so good acting. And there are also some incredibly showy and technically proficient camera angles and camera work that is thrown into the mix, which made it really fascinating. It was almost like the director was trying to prove something. I mean, the cameras were way down low and tilted on their side, and it was all very, I wouldn't say it's not an arty film, because it's a straight, you know, it's a plot-driven film, but there's a lot going on, and you won't get bored of it. It can be kind of, I would say when I wrote my review of it and Letterboxd, I used the word deliciously confusing, which to me means it was confusing. I didn't quite understand the whole of the plot, but it was fun trying to unravel it. And also the energy of the film was really captivating, very energetic film. The pace was, you know, was really and the editing. So basically, as you can tell, I was very excited about this film. I was really excited to check it out again, maybe with the audio commentary. Please try and check it out. So my selection for 2019 is a film called I'm No Longer Here, which was streamed on Netflix, directed by Fernando Frias. I think it's his second feature. And I thought this was a crime thriller when I saw the artwork for the post, that kind of. But it's actually a film about dance culture. So right up my street. Those of you that know me will know that I absolutely love films that include dance or about dance. And this one is about a kind of very niche youth dance culture, cumbia, which is like a kind of a Colombian dance culture. And I mean, the actual music itself didn't blow me away, or the dancing either. What really I loved about this film was the outfits that the guys are wearing, and the hairstyles, and the obviously love they have for this music was really intoxicating. And also I think that the colours in this film all over the place, what people are wearing, the buildings, were just like popping out the screen at you and looked absolutely fantastic. It's beautifully shot. And to be honest, as I was watching the film, I was starting to wander away from the plot and more interested in what I was looking at visually, thinking to myself, well, I'm going to watch this again anyway, so worry about the plot next time. But it came together. You understand what's going on. It's not a difficult plot. Lead performance is great. It's got kind of a love story contained therein as well, which is really cool. It is a character study, really, about this young man who mistaken identity, has to go on the run, but it's really about how the youth use dance to escape the grim realities of their lives. And it's one of those films that, even though you know these young people are having a bit of a difficult time with their lives, their passion for their music and their dance is just, as I said, intoxicating, and just really makes you feel very joyful. And it was just, it has its flaws, but I think the film's flaws are quite endearing. It's a wonderful piece of cinema, I thought. So my rewatch film for this week was a film from 2001 called Amelie, which I'm sure you all know. And it surprised me when I first saw this film. I gave it 4 stars. And then I became kind of not obsessed with the film. I did start a Amelie collection. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but that's kind of what I do. I do collect editions of certain films. Not very many. Carol's one, Drive is another, and this one. So I have got, like, 1, 2, 3. Actually, those 3 editions come in the Kimchi DVD box set. I've got a Nova Media one, 4. It's only 4 editions, for goodness sake, so it's not that many. And then you get the badges and that kind of stuff. See my little face when I said that? Badges. I love it. I love goodies. So I thought I had to watch this again just to remind myself how much I loved it and understand why I only gave it 4 stars. I was obviously a different person then. I'm a fully grown-up man now. I appreciate art house cinema. I'm a film snob and all that stuff. And just for the look of this film, it gets 5 stars. I got, the plot was just like, didn't really care. I was just looking at the images that were coming at me, and unbelievable. So back to 5 stars, as it should be, Amelie. So another Japanese film. This time it was a bit of a curveball. I wasn't expecting to watch this film. I went on a stream, as I do every month, on the Touch of Film with Hus and Dion. They talk about top 5s. Top 5 Nicolas Cage, I think it was last month. This month was top 5 Kaiju films. Japanese monsters like Godzilla and all that kind of thing, which I know zero about, to be honest. I am a fan of the Hollywood Godzilla films, pretty much all of them, even the Matthew Broderick one I quite like. So I'm not quite sure why I've never bothered with the older film, the Japanese older films. Probably because I thought the effects would be silly and the acting would be cheesy and all that kind of stuff. So I was quite intrigued by this genre, and the guys definitely sold it to me. I was really interested to try it out. So I went with one of their recommendations. I think it was Huss's recommendation, Gamera 2, Attack of the Legion. Sounds amazing. And it almost was. Yeah, I didn't blow my mind. It didn't blow my mind, but certainly whet my appetite for more, monster mayhem and flying lizards and fire-breathing monsters and all that kind of stuff.
It was actually a flying turtle,
A lot of
David.
fun. Film had a lot of heart. Took itself seriously. The effects were actually not too bad for the mid-90s. I'm really looking forward to seeing Shin Godzilla, which is a more recent Japanese Godzilla movie, which I assume will have better effects and better acting and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think onwards and upwards, I'm going to try out some more, and I can't really fit it into my already, exhaustive algorithm list, but maybe it would come under the Japan section. We'll see. But yeah, I would recommend. I mean, they're doing these films at the moment on iTunes for like £3, or a lot of Arrow films or Third Window films. So yeah, check it out if you want to rent it for £1 or buy it for £3. Gamera 2, Attack of the Legion. You will have fun. Maybe have a few beers when you're watching it. Might be a good idea. We might as well carry on with Japanese films actually, because as I said earlier, I saw 3. The third one that I saw was a film from 2004. The Taste of Tea is the third window release that I have, which by the way has got a 1.5 hour making of documentary included in the extras, which is incredible. Directed by a guy called Katsuhito Ishii. I think I pronounced that correctly. Once again, a Japanese film that is very, very strange, very quirky, but very, very beautiful and very, very amazing. You have got, well, it's touching, it's surreal, it's strange. It's got some great animated sequences, surrealism, bit of mindless violence. It's life-affirming. It's really frustrating. The performances are great. I could go on and on and on. That's probably why it's an 1.5-hour documentary about the movie on the extras. The film's got lots of different sequences which kind of do blend in with the rest of the film, but can also be seen as standalone sequences. But like I said, the heart of it is the story of a very, very close family, but extremely quirky and charismatic family, different characters. And you've also got a really touching love story between a young man and two school kids, kind of unrequited love, but that unfolds beautifully. And you've also got a lot of special effects, animated sequences. It's just like very hard, I think, to explain. I think a lot of Japanese films, you have to be, I guess, Japanese to actually understand them properly. And for a British guy like me to watch it and love it is kind of, it's great, but I'm sure I didn't quite understand all of it. I was just kind of really just fascinated by the sheer audacity of the quirkiness. And it's a film that I would 100% recommend. It is long. It's 2.5 hours long, and there are some sequences that would go on for too long, and you got to cut them down. But it's one of those films that has got a lot of rewatch value, and I think I need to check out the rest of this guy's work because he's very, very original, very, very talented. So yeah, you can actually buy it. I don't want to advocate, strictly if you can't afford to get the Blu-ray. This is currently on iTunes for £3 to buy, I believe, but then you won't get the 90-minute documentary. So if you can, I get all of the Blu-ray. So my selection for my 2020 film was a documentary called Assassins. I watched it because it was on Sky Documentary Channel. And it's a documentary about the assassination of the half-brother of the North Korean leader, Kim Jong-nam, when he was killed in Malaysia airport, if you remember that a few years ago. I remember it vaguely. I had absolutely no idea what happened afterwards, which was great. If you're going to watch a documentary, if you already know, you're still worth watching. But if you don't, you are going to be in for a treat. I mean, the story, you couldn't have, it's like completely fantasy. You didn't realize it was actually true. Absolutely incredible story and riveting documentary. The documentary makers didn't really need to do a lot. They just need to tell the story and let the people involved in the film tell the story. It's just, you know, incredible. So that's all I'm going to say. You know, everyone needs to watch this. If you're a fan of documentaries like I am, then definitely give this one a go. Assassins from 2020. So my last film for this week, or last 2 weeks, is Tomboy by Celine Sciamma from 2011. And I didn't realise actually that one of my favourite films of the last few years is a film called Girlhood. And I didn't even know she directed it. And it's interesting that there are big similarities here. The way that she gets performances from a young cast in a very naturalistic way and really touching way is superb. Also looking forward to seeing her other coming of age drama called Water Lilies. So that'll be interesting to compare that. Yeah, Tomboy. So it's about a young girl, 10-year-old girl, who wants to be a boy and dresses like a boy and is transitioning to be a boy in a kind of the only way she can, you know, pretending with friends and, you know, with a family. She's a girl. With a friend, she's a boy. So that creates all sorts of problems, obviously, with her peers, and keeps it a secret from her parents and from her friends. So, and it's a film that's quite a lot of suspense, actually, because you keep thinking she's going to get caught. She's going to get caught. When is she going to get caught? That's quite interesting. But it's just such a touching film. The way that the director takes you on a journey, a completely non-judgmental journey. It's not really pushing you either to make up your mind whether you agree that 10-year-olds can do this or should do this. There's no preconception there. It just is what it is, and you find yourself drawn to the character, having empathy with the character. The performance is masterful by this young girl, and the whole cast are fantastic. And what is also amazing is this film is also a real celebration of family life. There's some beautiful sequences between mother and daughter, between the two sisters, father and the sister. That's all going on. It's just really, really beautifully done. The more I think about this film, the more that I love it. I gave it 4 stars. I will watch it again. I don't know if it's got a physical media release. I watched it on Mubi, so I might check out if it's got a physical media release with some more extras and a commentary. It would be really cool. But yeah, I mean, she's a great director, and she certainly has a knack with coming of age dramas. So yeah, Celine Sciamma, wonderful. So there we have it. The usual bunch of films from all different variety, and this week one that I really didn't like, which is unusual. So my algorithm is not bulletproof after all, and who'd have thought the director of Your Name would come up with a bit of a stonker for their follow-up film. I was very surprised, but enough here for you to be getting on with and to look into. And I would just, you know, I would definitely recommend all of these, but particular shout outs this week to I'm No Longer Here, which is still on Netflix. Taste of Tea, I mean, you've got to try that one, guys. And of course, Tomboy, which is streaming on Mubi. So if you can't watch all of them, try and watch those 3, but don't bother with Weathering with You. But that's just my opinion, of course, although I am premium Blu-rays, so.